Now let's take up here question number 23. It states that if 100 raised to the power 25 minus 25 is written in decimal notations, then sum of its digits is out of these options, where options are 444, 442, 424 and 422. So this is a very interesting situation. Here we are talking about this number, which is 100 raised to the power 25 and minus 25. So you can clearly see 100 raised to the power 25, it is multiple of 10, isn't it? So here this can be very well written as, 10 raised to the power 50 minus 25. Now why I could write it as 10 raised to the power 50? Because 100 is 10 square. And 10 square when raised to the power 25 simplifies to the value 10 raised to the power 50 minus 25. Now just imagine if you have 10 raised to the power 2, that simply means 1 is followed by 2 zeros. 10 raised to the power 3, that means 1 is followed by 3 zeros. In the same way, here 10 is raised to the power 50, that means 1 is followed by 50 zeros. So we have clearly these many terms, and what you are doing next, you are subtracting 25 from it. So in totality, you will see when we have 10 raised to the power 50, this is 1 followed by 50 zeros, and the last 2 zeros will have an impact when 25 is being subtracted from it. Let's suppose if I have the number 1000 and I'm subtracting 25 from it. So there is impact on the last two. Here it becomes 75 and the starting 0 becomes 9. So similar kind of thing will happen here. So we will have 1 followed by 50 zeros. So in short, I could write 0 and this is 50 times, that is 50 zeros minus 25. So when you will subtract 25 from it, so the last two digit will become 75, and before that you will have all the digits equal to 9. So this 1 will vanish from here and total 50 digits will be here, where starting 48 digits will be 9 and last two digits will be 7 and 5 after this subtraction. So this is going to be equal to 999, so on, and this will be 48 such digits, 48 digits, and the last two digit will be 7, 5. So this is the number, and this is clearly being expressed in decimal notation. So decimal notation doesn't mean that you are putting the decimal here. Decimal notation means you are representing it all in terms of tens, units and hundreds place. Everything is mentioned here. So we have total 50 digits, starting 48 digits is 9 and last two digits is 75. Ultimately you need to figure out sum of its digits. So if we try to find out here sum of digits, clearly sum of its digits will be given by 9 into how many times? 48 times 9 is appearing. So 9 into 48, because 9 will be added 48 times, plus 7 plus 5. So when you simplify this, 9 into 48, this is equal to 432, plus we have 12, which simplifies to the value 444. So you can see how basic this question is. Here sum of its digits, where we are considering the number 100 raised to the power 25 minus 25, is giving the sum of digits equal to 444. So we have rightly figured out the solution for this question. You can very well mark here the answer, which is found here in option A, 444, and you can mark here the required answer for this question is option A. I hope it's totally clear to you. Let's take up our next question. Here we have question number 24. It states that ABC is a triangle. The bisector of angle A meets BC in D. The relation between AD, AB and AC is out of these options, where we have option A, AD greater than root over product of ABAC. Option B is AD greater than product of ABAC. Option C is AD is equal to root over product of ABAC, while option D is AD is less than root over product of AB and AC. To have a better understanding about this question, we need to first draw the triangle ABC mentioned here. According to this question, in triangle ABC, AD is bisector of angle A, which is meeting here BC at point D. So clearly this angle will be bisected. Let me consider this angle is bisected as theta theta. So we have angle BAD and angle CAD both equal to theta. We have very well, understood this important theorem related to internal angle bisector. What does internal angle bisector theorem tells you? That bisector of interior angle divides the opposite side in same ratio of the other two sides. Okay, so if I mention here internal angle bisector theorem by internal angle bisector theorem, we get here the ratio of the two sides is equal to the ratio of the side in which this angle bisector is bisecting the opposite side or dividing the opposite side. So we have ABAC equal to BD by DC. So let's consider here that AB is X and AC is Y. So this will be also equal to X by Y. So as we have taken AB and AC to have the measure equal to X and Y, it is not necessary that BD and DC both are equal to X and Y. They will be in the ratio of X and Y. So let's consider here that BD is equal to KX and DC is equal to KY, where K is any real constant. K is any real constant. So we have here this one Kx, this one Ky. Now I am not sure about the length of AD, but here two things are very clear, that this angle BAD and CAD both are equal to theta. Here if I want to draw out the relationship between the sides and angle, there is a very interesting relationship said to be cosine rule. So let's apply here cosine rule in these both triangle and try to get the relationship between AB, AC and AD. So when we apply here cosine rule, we can very well mention here by cosine rule. Firstly, I'll be taking up this triangle BAD. Here if I take cos theta will be equal to x square plus AD square minus kx whole square whole upon twice x into AD. Okay? Here, if I consider triangle BAD, I get here that cos theta is equal to x square plus AD square minus kx whole square whole upon 2x into AD. So this is applied in triangle BAD. In the same way, here in this triangle, cosine rule can be very well applied in triangle CAD. If you apply cosine rule in triangle CAD, you get here y square plus AD square minus ky whole square upon twice y into AD. So let's apply it there too. Let this be equation number 1. Here, if I can write in triangle CAD, applying cosine rule, we get cos theta is equal to y square plus AD square minus ky square whole upon twice y into AD. Equation number 2. Now equation 1 and 2 both represent what? Cos theta. They both have left hand sides equal. So now you get a clear clue. You can equate the right hand sides, isn't it? So let's equate right hand sides of equation number 1 and 2. Next, you could mention from equation 1 and 2 and easily correlate this fact that right hand sides are equal. So this gives me here x square plus AD square minus k square x square whole upon 2x into AD. Here I have clearly y square plus AD square minus ky whole square upon 2y into AD. Now it's the time to simplify this. On both the sides, you can observe the denominator part. In denominator, I have this 2 will get cancelled up. Moreover, I have AD. That will also get cancelled up. Okay? So, we have here y. Y could be very well transposed to the left hand side and x could be transposed to the right hand side. So, let's simplify that. Post cross multiplicating the denominators, I get here x square y gets multiplied to all these terms, plus y into AD square minus k square x square y. While here on the right hand side, x will get multiplied to all the terms, resulting x y square plus x AD square minus k square x y square. So now here we got all these terms. Finally, you need the relationship between AD, AB and AC, where you have already considered AB to be equal to x and AC to be y. So let's try to club the terms containing AD on one of the side and rest of the terms on other side. So we have here x square y and minus k square x square y. I'm transposing xy square and k square xy square to the left hand side. So this gives me minus x y square minus plus k square x y square. While I'm transposing the term containing AD square to the right hand side, which results here x AD square minus y AD square. Okay. So let's try to further simplify this. Now how we are going to simplify this? Let's observe this fact. Here in this step, you can very well see from these both terms what can be taken as common. Here we can take x square y as common from the first two terms, while from the last two terms on the left hand side, x y square can be taken as common, right? And here from these both terms on the right hand side, we can take AD square as common. So let's bring it on. Here in this case, I could take x square y common, which gives me here 1 minus k square, while here from these both minus x y square is taken common, which gives me here 1 minus k square. While on the right hand side, I have x minus y AD square. Okay. So from these both terms on the left hand side, what else can be taken as common? 1 minus k square. So we take here 1 minus k square as common, which gives me here x square y minus x y square equal to x minus y into AD square. Alright, now from these both terms, easily we can take x into y as common, right? So that is the common part. So again, we take xy common. We have here xy common from this bracket, and 1 minus k square was already taken out as common. We are left out here with x minus y equal to x minus y into AD square. So now you can observe, x minus y, this will be a constant because x and y are what? They are the length of the sides of the triangle. So this will be a constant, so it will get cancelled from both the sides. So post simplifying in the next step, we get here xy into 1 minus k square equal to AD square. So here we get this as the resultant. Now in this step, now you can observe what is x and what is y. So let's get back to the diagram. In the diagram, we have already considered here that AB is x, AC is y, and k is any real constant, any real value. So taking that into consideration, we get here that this x can be substituted as AB, y can be substituted as AC, and here 1 minus k square equal to AD square. Now in this step, you can very well see we have AB, AC and AD, and finally we need the relationship between these three terms only. So let's transpose AB and AC to the right hand side. That clearly gives me that I have 1 minus k square equal to AD square upon AB into AC. Now let's talk about this term 1 minus k square. What will be that? Here if I just consider k is what? K is any positive real constant. So k square of any positive real number will be definitely greater than 0, right? Now in this case, if I multiply with minus on both the sides, then minus k square will be less than 0 according to the rule of inequality. Now if I add 1 to both the sides, then there will be no change in the inequality. That means 1 minus k square is less than 1. So we have 1 minus k square less than 1. That means here I could very well conclude the fact that in this case, here this is the quantity equal to 1 minus k square, right? As 1 minus k square is less than 1. Then this proves the fact that I have AD square upon AB into AC, which is equal to 1 minus k square less than 1. I hope it is totally clear to you. So I have 1 minus k square less than 1 and 1 minus k square is equal to right hand side. Substituting it here, we are getting this step. Now, if I transpose AB and AC product to the right hand side, that gives me AD square less than AB into AC. Now, AD square is less than AB into AC. So if I take root on both the sides, so all these are length, so root will be definitely the positive root. So I will be getting here AD is less than root over AB into AC. So guys, here we are getting this relationship between AD, AB and AC, that AD is less than root over product of AB and AC. This is a very, very important relationship which we have figured out for this question, where in this triangle ABC, AD is angle bisector. Now out of these options, AD is less than root over product of AB and AC is rightly found here in option D. So we get here the correct answer for this question as option D, and you can very well mark the required answer for this question is option D. Now here we come to the end of part A1 of this IOQ JS paper. Now let's discuss questions of part A2.